Hi and welcome to my channel. So we're going to be talking about a very important topic today, and that is if you find yourself in the very unfortunate position where you're in the UK on visa sponsorship, but the employer that has sponsored you does not have enough hours for you. What should you do? Look, worst case scenario is where you're then already in the UK on visa sponsorship. You need a new sponsor. You're working for an employer that is able to sponsor, and then they say to you, "Oh, Melvis, don't worry. We'll see what we can do about your situation." That is a lot worse. And let me tell you, the best advice you can hear if you're in the UK. So this is valid whether you're still out of the UK planning to come to this country or you're already here. The ability to say, "No, thank you very much, I'm done." You need to learn to say that. You need to say more no's in the UK than the number of yeses. The more no's you say, the more successful you're going to be. The more yeses you say, you're gonna suffer. That's what I'm saying. So if you're new to my channel, you're welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, as usual, I absolutely appreciate your time. This is the year for reawakening. 2024 is a year where we must all succeed together. We must all excel together. We must all achieve our dreams together. Whether it's moving to the UK on visa sponsorship, whether it's studying, whether it's getting on an apprenticeship, whether it's whatever goal it is, career progression, we have to do that together. So if you haven't joined this family, take this opportunity now to hit the subscribe button below so that you're the first person to be notified every single day when I drop a new video on here at 10 a.m. prompt UK time. I dedicate my time to ensuring that come rain, come sun, come shine, snow, I'm dropping a video on here at 10 a.m. prompt UK time so that you are the first person to be informed about the best opportunities that this country has to offer. Because it's not about coming to this country, but it's what you do with yourself once you get here that is ultimately going to make it worthwhile or not. And let me tell you, very few people will find that it is worthwhile being in this country. But it's only because they are not aware of the best opportunities that they can pursue. And that's what this channel is about. So what are we talking about? Legally, by the way, if you are in the UK on visa sponsorship, you must, it's a legal requirement. You must be working full-time, and full-time is at least 37.5 hours a week. You must be working at least 37.5 hours a week for the employer that has given you visa sponsorship. This means that you don't have the option to work part-time if you're on visa sponsorship. Legally, it's not allowed. Obviously, I'm not an immigration lawyer, but these are things that, it is what it is. So you need to be very careful, very strategic. And if you're not aware, by the way, I do have a free newsletter in the comment section where I share information such as this directly to your amazing inbox, opportunities, free visa sponsorship to move to the UK, career progression opportunities to progress if you're already in the UK, you're looking for the next step, the next level, and things like that. Also, side hustle ideas that you can get started so you can earn more money to supplement your income, because many of these visa sponsorship jobs are very low paying and they are simply just an opportunity to get into the room and see what you can do so that we can all retire early, work less, and earn more money. So join that newsletter. Is free. You drop your name and email and you're part of it. Also, you're going to find my contact details on there. There's my WhatsApp number as well as my email address, so that if you are watching this and you're thinking, Melvis, I need support, I need one-to-one guidance, I've got questions, I need a change, I need to move on, I need something ASAP, then do get in contact with myself so that we can get started immediately. Because let me tell you, time waits for nobody. Procrastination is not a thing this year. It is not a thing this year. First thing is, what should you do? If you are in the UK, your employer doesn't have enough hours, there are no excuses. You need to be looking for another job ASAP. When I say ASAP, I mean, look, if you're coming to the UK and the employer that has given you sponsorship is an agency, you need to be able to know the difference. Is it an agency or is it direct employment? If it's direct employment and you've applied for jobs legally, I like to put that through. If you've applied for jobs legally, you know that you've got a job. The likelihood that you've got a job is 99%. If you've not gone through the legal process to get a job in the UK, you don't have a job. And what you need to be doing before you even get to this country, whether you're switching or you're coming as a brand new person, you need to be applying for jobs so that you don't find yourself in that situation and you're like, what? I wasn't expecting this. Well, you should be looking for a job even before you get to the UK. because you don't have a job. You may have a UK visa, but you don't have a job. So you need to keep on looking for a job. I get like hundreds of emails every single day come through my inbox. I've moved to the UK. My employer doesn't have a job for me. I've moved to the UK. My employer doesn't have a job for me. What should I do? I'm like, what should you do? You need to be applying for jobs. Again, if your employer is an agency, you need to be applying for jobs, because when it's an agency, there is no guarantee. You basically don't have a job, because if they don't have contracts, you don't have anything to do. Very frustrating when you've moved to this country with your family. I don't even know how people are surviving. You've got rents to pay, you've got bills. Rents have skyrocketed to over £1,000 per month for most families, if you're a family of, I don't know, you've got kids and all that. So it's not easy, which means that there's one option you've got: be applying for jobs. By the way, I'm very passionate about these opportunities because I've gone through this journey. I understand how challenging it is. I know how difficult it is. I started as a carer myself. I now work as an advanced nurse practitioner for the NHS, which is the National Health Service here in England. You know, it's the most senior clinical nursing position. And so when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to opportunities, career progression, you know, moving jobs, look, I've been there, done that. In my first 3 years in the UK, as a nurse, I had 6 different jobs in 3 years. And let me tell you something, I was on visa sponsorship. Do you know why that was? Because I was saying, no, I'm done. You know, when you see behavior from an employer that is like, you request something and they say no, you need to say, I am done. Because it is very difficult to turn a no to a yes when it comes to employers. It is easy to turn a yes back to a no, but it is very difficult to turn a no to a yes. So if your employer is promising you and you need visa sponsorship and they're saying to you, oh, you will see what happens next month, we'll see what happens with the next lot, we're waiting for the home office, we're waiting for this. Those are strategies to keep you stagnant so that you're working, but they're not going to give you what you want. Last minute, they're going to say to you, Melvis, we're really sorry, we're not able to offer you sponsorship. So what are you going to do? If you're on a student visa, or you're on a dependent visa, or you're on a post-study visa, this tends to happen a lot to these people. Even people that have come to the UK on visa sponsorship and they're struggling to switch because the employers don't have any jobs, this is what is happening to them. Employers are promising, look, your employer doesn't have you at heart. Your employer is thinking about their business and how it needs to run successfully. You are the only person with your own interest at heart. And the only option you've got is to keep applying for jobs until you meet an employer that says, Melvis, congratulations, your interview was successful and we will give you sponsorship, and they actually give you a COS and you apply for your visa. Until then, apply for jobs. There is no other option, no flexibility, no what ifs, no buts. Apply for jobs. Specifically, if you're on a student visa, you're on a dependent visa, you're on a post-study visa, or you're on a skilled worker visa or health and care worker visa, and your employer doesn't have a job, you don't have an option but to apply for jobs. By the way, if you're enjoying this content, hit the like button. It lets me know you enjoy content like this, and obviously I should do more. Also share this with your loved ones, colleagues, so that they're aware of some of these things that are going on in the UK. Because I know when you're watching a YouTube video like this and it hasn't happened to you, you're like, oh my God, YouTube, everything is always exaggerated. But when you find yourself in this position, it is the most stressful thing to be in. You know, it is the most unfortunate position to be in. You're watching your kids go to school every day. You don't know whether tomorrow, what is going to happen. You're looking at your children, you're thinking, are we going to be in the UK next week, next month? It is very stressful. And the only way to avoid that is applying for jobs through legit employers that will say yes and give you the sponsorship, or no, so that you can move on. That's what you want. No ifs, buts, wait, next year, next month, home office. There's none of that. Yes, they give you the COS, you apply for your visa, or no, and you move on. Those are the only 2 options you should take. There's no such thing as you're going to wait for home office, wait for head office, wait for this. No, because I have watched so many people get into depression in this country because employers last minute have decided that they're not going to give them sponsorship. And I say to them, look, they were never going to give you in the first place. Never. Because an employer that is willing to give you sponsorship will give you a COS and you go and apply for the visa. They will not be promising you month in, month out and giving you shifts, calling you for extra hours, because what they are doing is making you work so many hours to make you feel that you're going to get something out of it. If they're so interested, let them give you sponsorship. I mean, you know, you need to be thinking very differently when you're an employee. And by the way, if you need one-to-one support guidance, consider joining my private coaching program, which if you check the description box below, or indeed the about section on this channel, you're going to see information to join. When I share this on here, that program is not for everybody. It's only for the top 1% of people that, like me, are interested in personal and professional development. Obviously, a lot of hard work to be done, a lot of sacrifices to be made, a lot of persistence, but it is the right path. So you get that support with NHS jobs, for example, because there's no drama. That's why I love the NHS. They are either saying yes and giving you the sponsorship, or no and you're moving on. That's what you need. It's not like private companies that will be playing a yo-yo situation with you and then last minute they disappoint you. It is very, very unfair. Apprenticeships as well, if you're looking to study and progress at the same time, you get guidance with that supporting information. How should you position yourself for success? How should you switch your employer, switch your visa, move jobs and get change ASAP? If you're in domiciliary care, for example, and you're thinking to yourself, Melvis, oh my goodness, I'm leaving the house at 6 a.m. I'm returning at 11 p.m. and I'm only being paid for 3.5 hours. Look, I'm done. And that's why I love people who say no. The more no's you say in the UK, in your life as a person, the more successful you're going to be. I keep saying this. I'm one person that, I say many no's in my life. There are very few things that I accept. I don't apologize for that. It's who I am. I have no time to waste on anything that has little or no value at all. And so I'm just going to say to you, this is how it is. Yes, no, move on. That's what you need. That's how you need to be. It's a little bit tough, but I mean, life itself is very tough. So if you want to be soft, you're like, oh my goodness, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Oh, I don't want to ask my manager about this sponsorship in case they're thinking that I'm very desperate. Yes, you are. You need to ask them so that they can tell you yes and give it to you, or no and you move on. I cannot stress enough, because it is heartbreaking to see families left, stranded in this country because somebody was hoping that the manager was going to give sponsorship. And then they call you every day and say, hey, Melvis, can you come and cover this extra shift? Melvis, we don't have any agency. Melvis, can you come in on Tuesday? Melvis, can you come in tomorrow? Don't be doing that. If they're so interested, let them give you sponsorship, because that's what you need. I understand and I empathize about visa sponsorship, because this is a process that I've gone through. I know how stressful this is. So you need to say no. The more no's you say, the more successful you'll be. So keep applying for jobs. There are lots of legit companies that are currently recruiting. If you've got any questions, by the way, leave them in the comment section below, so that what's your situation right now. Are you in the UK planning to move? Have you got visa sponsorship? Are you looking to switch? I mean, how are things going with you? If you're part of my private coaching program, then obviously during our live sessions, we get into more detail about these companies, how to apply the legit ones, and just all sorts of things, so that we are moving forward. And despite the challenges, despite the difficulties, we're not giving up, and we are carrying on, so that we can push through and achieve the goals. Because if you need sponsorship, you don't have to stop until you've gotten it. It's not saying it's very hard. I've received lots of unfortunate emails. It's very disheartening. I can't do this. Yes, I'm not saying it's easy. It's hard, it's tough, but it needs to be done. It needs to be done. And like I say, the more no's you say, the more successful you're going to be. That's how it is. The more yeses you say, they say to you at work, can you do this? Yes. Can you do that? Yes. Can you do this? Yes. Can you do that? Yes. You're going to struggle. You will really struggle. If you're busy, you can say, look, I'm really busy with, doing X. Can someone else do Y? Yes, I can do Y, but can I do X tomorrow? Yes, I'm able to do all of Y now, but can I do some of X tomorrow? That's how you need to be, so that your workload is well managed, but also you're safeguarding yourself and you are not putting yourself under so much strain and so much pressure. Because if you are doing that and you make a mistake at work, let me tell you, nobody's going to support you. Nobody will stand by you. When you're working in the UK and problems arise, there are no friends. No what is, no buts. Even your manager is going to be like, you should have told me that you were not able to do it. If you were not, because you've made a mistake, you're going to go down for it. And you're going to be like, if I had known, I would have listened to Melvis when she said about it in that video, and I would never have done this. If you cannot do it, just say no. If they don't have what you want, move on. Simple. Everybody is happy. You're not going to end up with heartache. So again, I appreciate your time. If you need to contact me, obviously, check the comment section below. You're going to find my contact details so that we can see what the situation is. And please learn to say more no's than a number of yeses, because that's what's going to really help you and make you successful in this country. If you're saying yes, it needs to be right for you as well, and it needs to be appropriate, not under pressure. Check this video here.